Oh yeah! Welcome to a new
Oh,
episode
God.
of the 8 Panels graphic novel, brother.
You would have
I am
told me,
not
I
El
would have
Grande
worn mine.
Americano.
Dude, if you
I
would
had
have
this
told me,
last minute want to spice it up a little.
I would have brought mine if it's somewhere here. I would have gotten it out and have it ready for tonight. I didn't know when to think of that. That's
And
funny. I like
since this book deals a lot with La Luchadores
it.
and Japanese pro wrestling, which, as they talk about in this book, is very serious. So this was my pick for this month. Do a Powerbomb by Daniel Warren Johnson with colors by Mike Spicer, who basically follows Daniel Warren Johnson from book to book. That is his dude. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot some parts of this book. It had been a while. I read it once and kind of forgot about it.
Me too,
man. So Gambit, how's it been going?
It's been going great, man. It's I just came back from a from an intense weekend of Metallica and a bunch of other bands in Tampa. It was a great show.
I
Then I
wish
came
I'd
home.
gone.
Then I came home to to finish reading this because this Thomas thought that it was next week, and then I was, oh shit, no, it's this week.
Yeah, I've done that before. Also, little notice thing here.
Mhm.
Florida's the wrong place to be wearing a fucking mask because even with AC on, it's hot as fuck.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, I bet. I bet it's super hot right now. Yeah. Oh,
But
dude, I got one that I got as a gift from from one of my followers and friends. Actually, he's a friend now. Back in Jesus 2015, I think it was at my first Comic Con as an artist. And I carry that thing around with me everywhere I go. I haven't used it for anything. You know, I should create something with that mask because it's there and I can use it.
So it was good timing for this because I just watched that WWE crossover with the Luchador Wrestling AAA.
Yeah. The worst
Weekend.
collide.
So I watched all this craziness happen, and then I now know who Mr. Iguana is.
Somehow. I don't know why.
I'd never seen him before, and now he's the biggest thing in wrestling because he carries a little pet iguana with him.
It happens.
I enjoyed the whole thing because there was a lot of wrestlers you don't ever see because, the luchadors are not, you don't see them get as much attention.
Yeah, here in the WWE, no, you're right. They don't get the love that they deserve. Honestly, hopefully that'll change now.
Except for Dirty Dom.
But is he a luchador? You know what I mean? Like he's been in the WWE now long enough that I don't consider him a luchador. I just consider him a wrestler in the WWE.
Yeah, he has his family luchador background.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I get it. Let me post the link so that people can join us if they want to.
I've posted on Instagram and everything. Yeah, and it's one of those weird times where we have a time that works for us, and I think it's the time everybody else streams.
Damn, it's okay. They can catch it. They can catch it later.
Yep, I have no problem with that. So,
all right, so let's get started.
Yes. One of the things, there couldn't have been a better book that Daniel Warren Johnson could do because he has such a kinetic art style.
Yes, it's, oh my God. Yes, I was talking to a friend of mine about this book, and she asked me what was the book about. So I tried to make a really long thing really short, and it says, well, it's a spoiler, And one of the things that I after I told her what it was, I told her that the art is very kinetic, dynamic, fast-paced, and explosive, and the color palette that works well with the dynamic art without it being flashier than it needs to be. I wrote it down because I needed to not forget what I wanted to say about that specifically. I think that, like you said, it's nobody. I mean, obviously it's his creation, but even if he would have wanted to get another artist in the book to do it, it wouldn't have been as impactful or as entertaining and beautiful as it is
Yeah,
without.
I don't think it works with another artist, or at least not as impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And then the prequel, he says, you know, he never watched wrestling before until 2018. He had a daughter that was an infant that was having trouble sleeping, and she didn't cry. Like she was. So him and his wife would split 4-hour shifts of watching the daughter, and he started watching New Japan Wrestling and got addicted. So that's kind of a little bit of the background, and you know, he watched, you know, this month-long tournament they have where he really fell in love with wrestling. And you know, I think everybody in their life goes through a phase, if you're a guy, that somehow you find your way back to wrestling.
I've been watching wrestling lately. Now that Raw is on Netflix. Yeah, I can catch it. You know, so I try to every Monday at least watch part of it. You know, before I continue on with my daily night with my night routines. You know, I try to catch it. So I'm trying to like catch up with wrestling and watching YouTube videos. It's been years. I think the last time I sat down to watch wrestling was when the early 2000s, when the Undertaker was coming out in a bike and was the
Yes.
American Badass, which I hated.
Yes.
I hated so much.
When he was coming out to Limp Bizkit's Rollin'.
No, it was wasn't it oh no, it was at some point, yeah, but it was
Yeah,
like
he
this
was coming
other.
out, he also came out
It
to
was
Kid
Kid
Rock's.
Rock's, yeah, Kid
Yeah,
Rock's
he did
American
both.
Badass, yeah. Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't remember Rolling. I remember American Badass by Kid Rock.
Maybe it was just for the WrestleMania he came out to Rollin'. I can't remember, but
It could be. I mean, it could be.
um so yeah, like I think I'd stopped watching like pretty much the prime of The Rock.
Yeah.
And then I went away for a while, and then COVID happened, and like slowly but surely I started watching again. And then I discovered NXT and how awesome their women's division is.
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah. So through the years, I managed to stay in touch with to stay in touch with with wrestling because my friend Wilfred from Puerto Rico, he's a big wrestling fan. So he watches every show of every company. He's up to date, you know. So when I have questions or something, I just message him. And my other friend Leo, with whom I was in Tapa this weekend, he's also a big wrestling fan. You know, he's one of those that never went away. That they always stayed watching. So they're like, hey, who is this? They will, you know, they will tell me, say, no, this is so and so, and this is the story, and they will send me links and stuff for me to catch up and get up to date. So I've been slowly familiarizing with it and trying to enjoy it again because I stopped enjoying it a while ago. And I tried, but I was like, but now I've been enjoying it again. I don't know. It feels different now.
everybody finds Rhea Ripley, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm interested in this wrestling
It's
thing
funny
again.
because it wasn't Rhea Ripley that got my interest to get back into watching wrestling.
So lately, it was the two NXT people, Julia, who's the girl from New Japan,
Mhm.
or woman, she has the blue braids.
Yeah.
Something about her I really like. She's got like an evil look, but playful. And then Stephanie Vakura, which
Of
is
course.
very much my wheelhouse, my jam. Anywho, but I've just, it's the brainless, like, kind of shut your inside thoughts off, and like whatever's
Yeah.
happening during the day, and you start watching,
And you can
and then you get
disconnect
into
for
the
a while.
soap opera of it. Yeah, have a drink, maybe 3, just kind of sit back.
Yeah.
So This story in particular, it starts you off right away with a title defense.
Oh yeah, it starts in the main event of a title defense of a big event too. You know, you can tell
It's like their
that's pretty.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's Yua Steel Rose against Luchador Cobra Sun.
Which versus Cobra Son? Yes, Canadian luchador, Canadian Mexican luchador, by the way.
Yes, interesting mix. I also he has like a very awesome outfit because it has a shark fin, basically. On
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And Yua's got if for modern parlance, she has an Io Sky look, except taller.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's getting ready. Her husband's there kissing her, and their little daughter Lona comes out. And Yua is the championship holder. She is a baby face in wrestling parlance. And they have their Uncle Blood, who is there, which we find out later is a trainer and kind of a booker for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And Yua's like, oh, your dad has to work late tonight, so Uncle Blood's going to go sit with you. And they're like, oh, Jacob, sorry to interrupt. We're up in 30. He goes, oh, yeah, I love you. And, they're they like have a great match.
Yeah.
Always some very good misdirection.
Yeah. It's very good. Very, very good. Very good. And you know what I love about those next few pages when you read the entrance, even with the art, the angles that he chose for those panels and the dialogue and everything.
Deliberate.
Yes, you can tell, and you can tell that he enjoys wrestling. That he's doing this because he really enjoys wrestling.
So the page after, there's her getting in the ring.
Yeah. That's the page I was specifically talking about.
It's a lovely page of art.
Oh yeah, this book has a lot of pages like that. Oh my god.
So
yes.
And that's a lot of background. That is a lot of background to draw.
It's a lot of tiny little lines to draw those little things.
Yes. And, she grabs the mic and she's like, when I started wrestling, it was my everything. Every day I trained, I fought, I lived for it, I consumed it. Wrestling was my life. Getting this belt was my life. I wanted the glory and the fame. And she's like, but then I became a mother. And now I don't fight for a belt. I fight for my family. And everyone is you. And Lona's like, Uncle Blood, are you okay? And he's crying. He's like, your mother, she's the best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I started reading, when I was reading that, I was like, man, this is really good. Like I said, you can tell that he enjoys wrestling because the way he's writing it feels like I was watching a wrestling event.
Well, also he's building up these familial bonds.
Yeah.
And it's very important because, it's a wrestler. You don't think about what they have going on outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're a fan of wrestling, you by now sort of have an idea of how these people live their lives outside of the ring.
Hi, John. I love Murder Falcon.
I have to check Murder Falcon. I keep hearing about it, but I've never heard about it.
John swears.
I've never read it. Sorry.
Beta Ray Bill was my favorite of the series he's done.
Oh yeah, Beta Ray Bill was a really good one. Yes, and his Transformer was really good too.
Oh yes. And the challenger from Calgary, Alberta. The poisonous powerhouse, the high-flying Scorcher, Cobra Sun. And he comes out and he goes full heel. Cut my music!
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, he did not waste any time. Have you seen there's a show with Stephen Amell?
Heels.
that first season is phenomenal. I started watching the second season, and I can see why the show stopped, why the show was cut, because that
Goes too
second
long.
season, that second season stopped feeling like the first one. Stop. I mean, you want to something different, but what made the first season appealing was that it felt like, same with this book. It
Organic.
Yes, it felt organic. The second one, it felt like now they're just pushing things to stretch this out as much as they can. You know what I mean? And it felt a little bit weak, and I stopped watching it. I didn't even realize I stopped watching it. I just paused it one day, and I haven't put it on again. Put it on again.
I've done that with a couple of series where I started watching and it became an effort.
Yep.
For me to even go to a streaming page to go watch it, which is sad to say. Like,
yep.
But he's like, good, Boomy, all you like. I don't care. Unlike my opponents, I have no curtain over my eyes. Pfft, she calls you her family. Huh, so sweet. So sweet it makes me sick. And she's like, you've forgotten what it means to be a pro wrestler. It's not about the crowds. It's not about love or family or adulation. It's about power, status, money. He'd be a McMahon.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little bit. It's about that, and I'll be taking it for you tonight. Woo! And daughter's like, kick his ass, Mom.
Right. Oh my God.
Little did we know.
But, I forgot that detail too. We'll get to it in a little bit.
So it goes right into like his hyperkinetic art, which I've talked about, where she's jumping across, and even with him wearing a mask, his eyes kind of scrunch down.
Yeah.
Intensity. And every time someone gets hit, you see like a Mortal Kombat game where, except the X-ray thing, like their jowls are shaking.
Oh, dude! Every time. So here's the thing. Every time you see those exaggerated panels, because they're obviously cartoonish in a sense, the way they stretch, and the way he stretches and squashes this character with each power move that they get, with each punch or clothesline or whatever. Everyone is like all the time. That is exactly how I see wrestling when I see it. When I see wrestling in my head, that's how when a power move happens or someone do something wild, that's exactly how I see it in my head. Like all flashy and wild,
like a video game cutscene.
Yeah, like a video game cutscene.
So one of my favorite pages in this, and I'm gonna share the image file, hopefully. So let me. Okay, so it's not expanding as much as I'd like, but in the middle, it's him jumping off the top.
That's my favorite panel from that issue. That is my favorite panel from that issue, because look at that. That is exactly.
I wish I could. Hold on. Oh shit! Nope. I wish I could blow it up more.
Yeah. It's okay.
But it's just, fuck, it's dynamic. Let's see. Let me try. Okay, nope, that's not going to work. All right. But again, like, it's just him flipping in the air, the lights crashing down on Yua. And something that happens in wrestling happens.
Yeah.
So you see it. I've seen it a lot lately where a botch happens.
Well, I was talking with a friend of mine the other day about that. We were talking about when we were at the concert waiting for Metallica to start. We were talking about how, how good the ladies wrestling side is lately. But that every once in a while, you get a botch here and there. You're like a little cringy stuff every once in a while. And I've noticed. I mean, it's not just with them. With the dudes, it happens too. It's
oh yeah,
Yeah.
The Royal Rumble had happened.
Yeah.
Someone went out when they weren't supposed to.
Oh shoot! Really?
Yeah, it was Drew McIntyre, and he tried to beat the shit out of LA Knight.
Oh my god! I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's wild. You see, I'm only watching the. Let me fix something here on my laptop because this thing is starting to irritate me. I'm trying to position the iPad screen so you guys can see it what I'm drawing, but there it is. There you go. Hey, look at that, Gambit. You made it work.
Carlito, we're talking about actually a wrestling comic, but if this becomes a wrestling show, I'll let you know. So the botch happens.
Yes.
And he realizes immediately, and they show he's losing his leg on the rope.
Yep.
And he's got her in a DDT position, which, fun fact, the DDT for the most part, or pile driver, is outlawed.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yes.
Because of neck injuries. And this is the most brutal, because they show it in a way where his art style really...
Yeah. It's let me put it up.
So, like, her neck is...
so accidentally he drops her, and she has a really nasty fall.
Her neck is
just,
and she's just on the ground, and right away the daughter's like, "Mom," and the announcer is like, we got an emergency.
Can tell immediately.
And then it becomes like the Apollo Creed Rocky thing where she's like, "Mom, wake up, Mom." And Cobra Sun's like, I didn't mean, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, so again, with that scene, you're thinking like that's normal because, these wrestlers don't actually hate each other in real life. Well, some of them do, but for the most part, they are professionals about it, and something like that. It's something that will affect, not only will affect the person that's getting injured, it will affect the person responsible for that injury, which would be traumatic to say the least,
They're in an emergency room and they flash back to Yua and Lona having a conversation, and she's asking, "So what happens when you die?" Which crazy. And she's like, "Well, I don't really know. Somewhere far away, somewhere light, warm, maybe. I don't know. It's all a mystery."
Yeah.
Don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere for a long time yet. And then flashes to the present, and her dad walks out, and he's like, "She's gone, baby," and just crumbles to his knees.
Yeah, that was really sad.
We get a time jump
because I wasn't expecting so early in the game to be, to have my heart broken.
Yeah, and then we have a time jump 10 years later, and Lona's basically getting her ass kicked. Like, they have her jaw like getting hit, and she's got like the gums just flapping everywhere. And they do the big, great lettering job of the blam right behind her.
Yeah. Oh, I like his use of fonts for the special effects, and how
the onomatopoeia, basically.
Yeah. I was not gonna try to say that word.
I've read that Kevin Smith comic enough that I know how to.
What comic is that?
The Green Arrow, where he had a character named Onomatopoeia.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't speak; he just says effects.
Oh wow!
Well, so he'll hit someone and go wham.
This is the panel. Yeah, this panel. You see how cartoonish it looks. That stretch of the mouth getting punched in the face, which is exactly how I imagine punching in the face feels like. So,
yeah, it's very exaggerated, like it would be in a cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And I keep wondering if he's an anime fan.
Oh, for
Of a
sure.
way.
No, for sure he has to be. Because this his work is very you. It's very manga ish. The way he animates things and make things move. You know, uh, I am pretty sure that he definitely likes to read mangas
So
or manga
Lona
in this case.
is getting her ass kicked. They're saying she's talented, but she's very green. Everybody refuses to train her or even work with her because of what happened to her mom.
Yeah. Yeah, which
And
which I get it, which I understand. I think if I was in that same position, I'll be like, nah, I'm not gonna touch you, kid.
and then she starts talking to her uncle to train her or find her a trainer. And he's like, look, I made a promise a long time ago. And
It's
she's
not
like,
happening, girl.
he's like, I promised your dad I would not let you have anybody train you to wrestle. So her relationship with her dad, I'd say, is strained at best.
Oh yeah, there's I think that there's at this point there's no relationship with her dad.
And for him, his daughter's just this reminder of his wife. She wants to wrestle. He absolutely does not want her in that life after what happened.
Which again, I think that I would react the same way, or maybe not, because knowing that she wants it so bad that she wants to to be a
It's an
wrestler so
obsession.
bad. I don't know. I can't say. I'm not in that position.
It's an unhealthy obsession,
Yeah.
I'd say.
You think it's an unhealthy obsession? Because for this type of I think
And then,
that for this type
yes,
of career you have to be obsessed with it. There's no way that you will make it in this
or should I
industry
say that
if you're not obsessed about it.
she's defying her father to a point where it's
Yeah.
problematic? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I see it. I see what you mean.
So this guy pops up out of a portal when he has electricity flow. Like he just walked through the Terminator portal, and he's wearing best I could say is the Kanye West stunner shades. And
Let me tell you how much I hate that guy.
he
I hate
takes
him
her
a lot.
to his realm, which again, this is another one of those like great splash pages. And
Man, he's really good at those splash pages.
yeah,
Splash.
where this is like, it looks like something that would be in a He-Man book of like, except it's a wrestling ring at the top of the mountain.
Which is perfect. That's exactly how I play with my wrestling, my He-Man and my G.I. Joe when I was a little kid. That's exactly the same scenario. I would have Snake Mountain in one side, and on the other side there would be a homemade wrestling ring. Because I didn't have a real wrestling ring, so it was a thing made out of cardboard and stuff. So it was exactly like that.
So he's like, yeah, I'm a necromancer. I'm running a tournament of sorts, but a belt isn't the only prize. I'd like to talk to you about bringing your mom back to life.
Yeah.
So already, kind of know where that's going.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's that one. You know what's going to happen. Dude, sketchy like that. First thing he says, I'm a necromancer.
And that is the end of the first issue. Beefy first issue.
Yeah. I think it was a great, solid first issue.
Yeah. And then he's like talking to her. He's like, yeah, there's a war. Kind of a big one. I may not have started it. I don't know.
Exactly.
He's basically Lucifer.
You can. That's right. I didn't think of him as Lucifer, but you're right. You're right.
He's like, I had all these armies. I had magic, blah, blah, blah. You name it. Fate had other plans. Powers be here on this planet managed to unify across the galaxy and take me down. He's like, not powerful enough to kill me, but yeah, they just exile me. And he basically has this like exile island he's on.
Yeah.
Which has a giant ring in there. And
Which is what you do if I was exiled on an island that I couldn't go and I discovered wrestling, I would do the same thing. I would put a wrestling uh, ring next to my gigantic castle in another dimension.
So basically, this guy kind of did what I did during COVID, except, he was exiled, so he discovered television. And while he's in his exiled realm, he became a wrestling fan.
Like you? Like you did back then in the pandemic.
And this is where he's like, you know what the reason you're here is? There's a splash page.
Another one.
I love pro wrestling.
I mean, that's pretty obvious by then, right? Just look at your outfit.
I know, but the look of him and thorns on his head.
Yeah, he reminds me of someone that likes wrestling a little bit too much for not being a wrestler. You know what I mean? To the point where it's like, bro, you need to stop.
Like, it's become his life, and he's like, he's like, when I discovered TV, I was amazed. Lutes and harps and outdoor theaters are fine in my world, but television, it's night and day. I took in every show all day. I loved it all. But he's like, what captured me the most? Pro wrestling, the action, the drama, the intensity. And he's like, and then I saw your mother's last match with Cobra Sun.
Dang.
And I saw you as a child in the stands running to your mother, and it got me thinking, best part of wrestling is not knowing who's going to win. And he lets her into a room, and he goes, by letting the winner of the battle bring back the one person they love most. She's like, Mom,
that's a great promise, you know. That's a great promise. That's a great motivation for you to like, oh shit, I need to do this.
He brings her back to Earth. He's like, oh, you're gonna pick your partner, and he goes, and she goes, so who's gonna win then? Me? He goes, what are you talking about? I have no idea who's gonna win. I mean,
oh yes,
like I said, she goes, but pro wrestling, it's scripted. The outcome's predetermined. And he goes, no, it's not. Good one.
You're so funny, girl.
Yeah, he's like, enough joking. I have one more thing to show you. And then he's like, this is your tag team partner. See you tomorrow. And then her dad calls her, and
she ignores it. Well, he doesn't tell her that this is your tag team partner. He suggests that she partners up with him.
Cobra Sun.
Yeah, with
Cobra Sun. She goes to where Cobra Sun's fighting, and when she's walking in, her dad's calling her. She ignores it.
As you do.
And her dad has now sunk to basically ECW, no disqualification matches, fighting with tacks, barbed wire chairs, bats. He got stabbed through the arm with a light tube, fluorescent light tube.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's full hardcore. He's full hardcore wrestling right now.
Yes.
which I thought it was a nice natural progression after going through that traumatic experience. To if you're gonna continue wrestling, you're gonna just
and then he immediately again gets hit in the shit and just we have the giant onomatopoeia and like
so
showing the face.
Two things: that first panel mimics the first panel where we see the girl getting
Lona
getting punched in the face, and the chop at the end. That chop sounds like one of that looks like one of those chops that Gunther
does.
Bah! Like it sounds like you can hear the shit like in the stadium, similar to what Ric Flair used to do,
So basically, he's at his lowest. He never recovered after what happened.
We'll learn later why.
And there's a part where he has the chair and he's about to hit the guy in the head, and he sees, Yua there, and she's like, "Do it, hit me," and he hesitates and drops the chair. So he's got a form of PTSD since then.
Oh yeah. Again, I think it's understandable.
Yes. So Lona walks in, and she's like, "Cobra Sun." He goes, "Do I know you?" And she unzips her jacket a little bit. He goes, "Oh, Lona, right? Yeah. What do you want?" And she starts talking. And then he's like, "Oh, that Necro dude talked to you about bringing your mom back?"
Immediately, he knew what she was talking about.
And he's like, "Look at you. You're too green. If I tag with you, it's a guarantee we'll lose, or worse, you'll get hurt." She's like, "You know all about that, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And she's like, "Lona, your mother was the best." She's like, "Stop. I don't even want to hear you talk about her." So he's, by the end, he's like, "All right, meet me at the shop. Don't forget your boots."
Yeah, don't forget your boots. Yeah. I like that. I like that she didn't. I thought it was suspicious that she didn't have to like beg him for 3 pages for them to do this. Then again, they're on a time crunch. They have to meet next day with the evil dude, with the necromancer dude. So, which he's not evil. He's just a wrestling promoter.
Chaotic.
Yeah, he's chaotic. Like I said, he's just a wrestling promoter. I mean, there's some that are evil, but let's not go there right now.
Yeah. So she calls her dad, and she's like, "I have something to tell you." He's like, "All right, like shoot." And she's like, "I'm gonna be gone for a while. I'm wrestling. I don't care what you talk about. I'm living my dream, Mom's." And he's like, "Lona," and she's like, "What, Dad?" He's like, "Be careful. I will." Click. And then we see him looking at a table, and there is Cobra Sun's mask.
Cobra Sun's mask. This is the great reveal. We see Cobra Sun's mask, and we learn that Cobra Sun is her dad, and that he accidentally killed his wife during a wrestling match.
Also, the way that when he's Cobra Sun, he's super jacked, and every time they show him in his human identity,
I know, right? I noticed that too.
Why am I saying human identity? Whenever he's the dad.
Yeah. When he's in his CVs, he is he's yes, his skin is like, what? Where do you hide all those muscles?
Yeah, I was like, are you just wearing baggy clothes? And she's never noticed.
All the time. He's what's it called? His pump cover it's insane.
Yeah. So he meets up with Jacob, and he tells him what's going to happen. The uncle, and he's like, they have a talk. He's like, "I didn't want to confuse her. Me and Yua came to the decision that we weren't gonna tell her until she was older." And then he goes, "Until you killed my sister." And he's like,
Yeah, he's pretty rough about that too. He's like, "Bro, it was an accident. He should have again, it's part of the green process, I guess, so."
Yeah, and then they get to the sign-up place, and this is like straight out of the first Spider-Man movie. Like, "What's your team's name?" And they're like, "I don't know." And he goes, "All right, Sun and Steel."
Sun and Steel, but that's a great name for their duo, for their tag team.
And the team they're fighting first, Orangabang.
The Orangabangs. That I knew we were gonna have fun when I heard the name Orangabangs. I said, "Oh man, I hope it is what I think it is."
It was.
It was exactly what I thought it was.
And Cobra Sun immediately is like, let's go to a bar. And there's a little pet puppy there, and this other group for one of the other worlds, the team's FISO, they're like, "Oh, the dog just peed on me," and they decide they needed to punish the dog, and they go to punch the dog in the face, and Lona kicks one of them in the head, and then they get into a fight, and Cobra Sun almost breaks kayfabe, where it's like, "Get your hands off my tag team partner."
Yeah.
And then we meet Orangabang,
Orangabang comes
a
in to
giant
save the
ape,
day.
a giant ape and a smaller ape trying to resurrect a sister.
Everyone has. It's trying that. I noticed that everyone is fighting for the same thing to resurrect someone.
Yes. And they were like, we're fighting for our lives and we face tomorrow. We're not holding back.
We're not holding back. This is when we learned that wrestling in here it's not fake. You know, this is when we actually get confirmation that
Yes.
wrestling here is not fake, boy. I'm gonna kick your ass.
And they all have their different super moves. Sun and Steel's not listed, but Orangabang, their finishing move is Attenborough's Cradle, which is hysterical to me.
Yes.
Um,
I like that. I like that page where they show all of
yes.
the participants on this tournament. It feels like a now that I see it on the screen, feels like a Street Fighter promotion.
Yes. Like one of them has FISO, their finishing move is the Coin Pouch of Judas. Pizza Party has New York Slice. Lucha Bots have Suicida Mechanica.
Lucha Bots.
Poro Pack have the Korakuin Quake. The Knights of Rhine have King Arthur's Table. And the Devil Doers that hail from your mama's basement. Finishing move, Tail of the Rat.
So. From your mama's basement.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And the fight with the Rangabangs, like, Cobra Sun doesn't trust her in the ring, and he goes out there first and refuses to tag in.
Yeah.
Almost gets his ass kicked, and again, the fight stuff in here is pretty good. Like, the pages just move.
Yeah. I mean, everything, every page. This one of the things that I like about this book. It was how fast it was to read.
Yes.
Without missing anything, without leaving anything unanswered. You know, he gave you a really fast pace, fast paced, you know, story, and his art, it's perfect for it. You know, I don't expect anything less from his work now. You know, now every time I see his name, I expect to see something that a level of quality and energy in his pages that the moment I won't see it there, I would be so disappointed.
And Lona gets in finally, and she hits a crispy moonsault, and it's another one of those great pages where, you know, half the page is just her flipping in the air,
and you're like, what?
And she hits it 1, 2, 3. And she actually gets down with the Orangabangs, and she's like,
yeah, because you can relate, you know?
Yeah, they're basically in tears because the one's like, I let us down. It's like, all right, brother, we did our best. And she's like, I'm so sorry, my mom, I have to get her back. And she's like, I have to get her back, and they're all hugging.
Yeah, because you don't want to be mad with the orangutans.
Yeah. And then 2 hours later, the Knights of Rhine fight the pizza party.
The pizza party.
And it's really crazy because there was Pizza Rat, which was a whole thing that was going around in New York during COVID. And
oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, there's a rat with a giant slice of pizza that it uses for a finishing move.
Oh my god, yes. I totally forgot about that.
And I hate that I know what that is. So the Knights of Rhine, we find out, were part of the army that took down the Necromancer.
The Necromancer, yeah.
And apparently their biggest champion fell during this, and they're fighting to get him back.
Yeah, trying to resurrect the wizard that can actually defeat the Necromancer for good. Their most powerful champion.
So Lona and Cobra Sun start working on their dual tandem moves. They go through like a rocky montage of them working out and training.
I like that. I think that when montages happen in comic books, time just stands still so that they can train and get ready for the next match, which was the next day.
Yeah, and he was telling her that, him and her mom were tag team partners at the beginning, and they had a finishing move called the Sword Sunrise, where he did the setting sun, and then, she would hit them with I forget what her sword move was, but anyway, it was basically just grabbing them by the neck and throwing them.
It's a clothesline from the top rope.
And he starts getting a little mad because like she knew how to transfer what she was thinking within the context of a match perfectly, and the way she moved, it was like music. And I'm like, take it down a bit, bro. And it's like everything fit in a perfect flow within a steady beat. You remind me of her. And he's like, and now we're a tag team.
Which is what Blood tells him, that the girl has it, she has the spark. She has that thing, you either have it or you don't. And she does.
They do push-ups, they spar, they do Tai Chi, they're doing curls together, they're jumping rope. And he's like, so how do you feel? And she has these explosions behind her going off, and she's like, feel like I'm ready to kick some ass.
Poor thing. The next page, she's getting her ass kicked again.
Yeah. So this next fight against the Knights of Rhine, she's getting her ass kicked, but now after all this training she's done in a day, she has more stamina.
So she can make this happen.
She keeps trying to tag and she can't because they keep pulling her back. And
as you do when you're in a wrestling match.
She's on the ground. She's like, my name is Lona Steelrose. My mom was Ewa Steel Rose. And the announcer, Lucifer, he's like, what a show of strength by Lona. And then she's yelling.
I find it funny that you call him Lucifer.
And then she's like, and I'm going to get her back. And he's like, Lona over here. And they tag, and then he comes in and starts doing German suplexes like he's Chad Gable.
That you said.
I mean, El Grande Americano.
I like that I can say now. I understand that reference.
And then he's like, Lona, what are you doing? She's like, what you said. We're going to do this together. She's dropping elbows off the top rope. Cobra Sun does a suicide dive out of the ring and takes out the guy with the Mo haircut from the Three Stooges from the Knights.
You see Three Stooges haircut. Why am I struggling so much with words today? I see Prince Valiant.
That too. Yeah. Could be. Yeah. Yeah. They end up winning. They're now actually a team. She helps them into the ring, and they raise hands, and they win again. And then FISO is going to fight Purapak. They're coming in wearing Oni masks.
Oh, yeah.
Mask comes off. It's Uncle Jacob.
It's Uncle
Blood.
He's
like, what you think Necroton's the only one who came to you? Want my sister back too. And then proceeds to get his ever-living ass kicked.
Not just kick, he gets hurt.
And I hate the name of their finishing move, the coin pouch of Judas, because it sounds like something real dirty is going to happen to them.
I mean,
like they're going to drop the coin pouch on them. And that coin pouch is not the one you want dropped on you.
I see what you mean.
Yes. Like just It's like a version of the tea bag, but like worse.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's out, and they just start beating the shit out of him further, dropping those Hulk Hogan leg drops on his neck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was very. It was pretty brutal, if you ask me.
And they're like, well, Necroton's like, well, his neck's broken. I got doctors. It might take a while to fix him. I don't know.
Yeah. His neck's broken, but we have the best doctors in the galaxy to work on him. Bro, what?
And Cobra Sun's like, don't bother. Necroton wants a spectacle. He wants our blood to boil. She's like, well, it's working. He's like, FISA says our wrestling's fake. They think they know how we do things on Earth. Well, I've got fluorescent light tubes. I've got a ladder. I've got kendo sticks. I've got a bat wrapped in barbed wire, and I happen to bring a chair with me.
Yep, that page where he's walking out with all of that, like at that action
like
figure
Jones.
pose.
It's like Casey Jones.
It's
like his action figure. And then they do this thing to make you feel compassion for FISO.
Yeah.
The one lady, her son died, and we find out her partner, his daughter died.
Mm-hmm.
So they joined up so that they could get to it. They have another promise between them, which is even crazier. And funny thing was, like, he's talking to Lona. She's like, I never done a match like this. It's gonna hurt, huh? He's like, oh yeah.
But
you have to push that pain down deep, separate it from yourself, and hide it away where it can't touch you. Don't be afraid of a little blood.
Which is funny because on the page before, she was all bloodied when they were kicking her ass, when the Knights of
Ryan.
Were kicking her ass, and she got up from the floor. She was all bloody and destroyed. I don't know why she was so stressed out about it. I guess the mentality is different.
Also, I love that this fight, they're not wearing a full costume. They put T-shirts on.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it became one of those no holds barred street fight events,
And the one guy, he's doing the whole pose where he's like, listen, get ready to bleed, weakling. Yeah.
That's exactly how I hear that guy too.
And they're like, oh, face first on the mat. Go, Lona Steel Rose. And then the guy dives between the ropes and takes her out. The facial expressions they do on some of these are fucking crazy.
Yeah, all of them are. He's really good at that.
Cobra Sun gets 5-on-2'd. He took the low blow to the boys.
Yeah.
And he starts getting hit with the barbed wire bat, and his Lona falls off the ladder. Well, not falls. She jumps off it.
But she was going to fall, so she jumps and turns it into a movie before she falls. Because the other one is pushing she just Hardy the shit out of them.
Yes. And
it's a brutal fight.
They throw tacks on the ground now, and they're hitting him, Cobra Sun, with a chair, and now he's all bloody. And they continue to start beating on him, and he's like, are you ready to go for it? And they get stopped and start ripping his mask. And he starts screaming, no, no, no. And she's like, Dad?
Lorna's going to see it, yeah. That's when she sees that her dad is Cobra Sun.
She then takes a fluorescent light bulb to the back.
And that gets pinned.
Yep. And then the winners are like, well, guess what? Time for us to fight to the death.
Yep.
Only one of us is getting our child back.
Yep. We agree. I like that we saw a montage of them training too right before they went to the tournament.
Yes. And then they show a flashback of when Yua first died, and Blood finally gets Lona asleep, and he's thanking him for everything. And he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "I don't know. I've done the move 100 times. I don't know." He's like, "You don't know. You don't know. Look at you. You're small without the mask. What even are you?" And then he goes into his daughter's room while she's sleeping and starts crying.
I mean,
and then we have a flashback of when him and Yua first met.
that was a really nice. That was a really nice flashback and a really nice interaction between them two.
It was also a crazy page.
Yes, when he's jumping from the from. Yeah,
Who's
that is
in the
he's
air?
really he
Rey
really loves doing
Mysterio.
those pages because there's quite a few of these pages like that in this book.
Yeah, and then he from flying like that puts the guy into from a shooting star press into a DDT.
That's insane.
And then Yu is in the crowd while he's like looking up. She goes, "Hey!" And then next thing you know, they're grabbing drinks at a little cart and eating, and they start explaining. Like he starts talking about his past. How he's like Mexican, Canadian, luchador, and his dad died, and he inherited the mask. And basically saying how he's not honest wearing the mask.
Yeah. She's telling him that you're a great wrestler, but you don't have good you don't connect well with the crowd, which at the beginning of the book, I sort of got, if I say again one more time, I'm gonna just go home. I'm home already. At the beginning of the book, we see him having a good interaction with the crowd. He later obviously learns how to work, but I like that detail that at first he wasn't good with the crowd. Yeah, you have flashy moves, you're very impressive, but it's not just flashy impressive moves to make it in the business.
And then
which is true.
The two idiots are fighting each other, and they're trying to get Lona back to the doctor's room, and one of the idiots lands on his back, and then he's like, "All right, that's enough. DDT time."
Right? He did not hesitate. He's like, "I'm done."
And the two of them killed each other at the same time.
That's wild.
And then he's like, "Lona," and she's like, "Dad, why didn't you tell me?" He's like, she's like, "You heard me." He's like, "Your mom, I couldn't do it. I couldn't let you see who I really was." She's like, "But I know who you are. You're my dad." The Necroton walks. He's like, "Lona, can you walk?" She's like, good. I need you both out there in the ring now." He's like, "But we lost." She's like, "I know that, you idiot. It's my champs. They're dead."
You lost, but my champs are dead. And if we don't have a champ for next time, we're not going to have
no show.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, "All right, time to resuscitate Mom." I was like, "I need some parts." And he's like, "Bad news? I'm not as powerful as I used to be, but I know a guy."
I knew it.
And Cobra Sun tries to beat his ass, and then he becomes like a giant specter, kind of. And he's like, "All right." So another necromancer. He's like, "So they said you're willing to fight. They're willing to fight you in a 2-on-1 handicap match, and they can raise the dead with the snap of their fingers." Like another necromancer is like, "Not exactly. Think higher." And he's like, "You're gonna wrestle God." Zap.
Yeah,
They're already heading up.
Not expecting that.
And he's like, "I told you, they're a huge wrestling fan. So much so they do it professionally."
God,
and Cobra Sun has this look in his eyes. He's just like, what?
What?
And he's like, "This is the last battle to get your mom back." And then he flashes back to when Lona was born, and he was late, and he didn't take his mask off in the room. And the name of the league that God has is called the Heaven Gate Pro Wrestling. Heaven's Gate.
Oh my God.
Heaven's
So
Gate.
wild.
The name of a death cult.
Yep. I mean,
And God is crazy looking, and Jesus is the ref.
oh my God, yes. You know, I feel so stupid right now because when I was reading, I was like, who is this bearded dude as the referee? Oh my God. What an idiot. I didn't miss that.
I was like, there's no way, this is too obvious. I was like, no, that's him.
Wow.
And God is like superposing.
Yeah, I mean,
I picture
God.
him having the Hulk Hogan, I am a real deity.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see. A real piece of shit. I mean, yeah, that flashiness, you know, that.
Yeah, and then they
did crowd work, you know.
They gave Sun and Steel new costumes because, you know, they're fighting God. And he's like, which one of you will face me first? and she's like, Dad, do you want to start? He's like, no.
Nah, you got this.
You can start.
I believe in you.
And like God's just like, all right, light work coming. and he's like, let us begin. He's like, you may have already guessed, my child, that I go easy on no one. So
yeah, we know.
God's talking shit. And he's doing like a huge belly-to-belly suplex by the arc. Like, whoa, huge belly-to-belly suplex by the architect of creation.
Yeah, the architect. I thought that was so funny how he goes in.
God is going for something big here. They're going to dive to the outside. Watch out, Lona. Oh, Cobra Sun kicks him to the face. And he's like, let's see what you got. He's like, fret not, child. It shall be over soon. And he hits a Tiger Driver 98.
Specifically.
Yes, and then Lona jumps off the top rope to break up the count. Jesus is hitting pretty crispy count. And he does a move, the crucifix bomb.
The crucifix bomb.
And all I picture is it being JR, who used to do the crucifix bomb, by the beginning and the end, by God. And Cobra Sun's giving up Snapdragon suplexes. And God's just like, oh, beautiful effort. And he's like, I hear Bane's voice, oh, beautiful effort, but not enough.
It makes sense. It makes sense that you hear Bane's muffled voice through that mask.
You were born in darkness, but I created it. And they're heading up the Steel Sun. Or
they
do it.
They do the sunrise, the Steel Sunrise.
Yes, or Steel Sunset, whatever it is. And
yeah,
they're counting. God throws them. It's like not even a 2 count. And God's like, ugh. And they're like, wait a minute, what? It can't be, is it? Stone Cold? No, God bled. He dropped one drop of blood. And Lucifer's like head's blowing up. He's like, it is. Bleed. The impossible happened. They made him bleed his own blood. And he's like, enough of this. God does a double snap suplex to them. No more games. It's time
no
to get
more
serious.
games.
And they're like, it's looking dire. God's looking to end it. And he's going for their... I like that they're saying that they're calling God there. They're like, they're going for their finisher from the top rope. Oh, God. Here it comes.
I like that. Yeah, I didn't notice that, huh?
The Pillars of Golgotha is his finisher.
Pillars. Yeah.
He destroys the entire ring.
I
dropping
mean,
it.
if you're gonna do something like that, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna break everything.
Yeah, like 1, 2, 3. That's your God wins. And he's like, here's a consolation belt for you guys. Made me bleed.
Consolate. I'm gonna. Yeah, yeah. You make me bleed, so I'm gonna give you this consolation belt.
And
I
she's
like
like,
that she has the balls to say like, "Fuck your belt."
and he's like, she's like, well, I want my mom back. He's like, I can't do that. I'll give you a memory. I got access to all memories. Here you go.
Well, he does. What he does is give her not just a memory. He helps her remember her full memory because we saw this memory earlier.
Yeah.
So he basically unlocks the full memory for her
Yeah,
to relieve it.
That was her crispy flip.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Look at that page.
Yeah. I knew I had it somewhere. I just had to find where I put it. So she remembers that full memory, and she's like, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's about the end, Lona. It's about the story, and everyone's story. It's worth telling no matter how it starts, no matter how it ends. But when the end does happen, will you be watching me? She's like, even after you're gone. And this is the part that made me almost cry today.
Oh my god, yes. Yes, when you see the end mommy's in the
Yeah, she's in the crowd
seats.
watching.
It's like,
that's my girl. That's my girl.
yeah, in this book doesn't have a sequel, right? It ended here.
That's it.
It shouldn't
That's
have a
the end.
sequel. It shouldn't have a
That
sequel.
is,
It should stop
that's
there.
the last page.
It shouldn't have a
And
sequel.
that's a hell of a way to end.
Yes, yes. In my head, they had the opportunity to talk to her at least once before they left. He couldn't bring her back, but at least give them an opportunity to talk to her. But nah, because he would have, instead of giving her a memory, he should have just let her talk to her.
But he said he couldn't bring them back in that way.
Yeah.
Because if you could do that, then it's too much. So I'm good with how it ended.
Oh, I love how this book ended, and I love that she was in the back in the seats watching the match the whole time, which is pretty cool.
And I remember when this book came out, I was like, this is gonna be fucking stupid.
Really?
It just, when you see a title,
Yeah,
and you judge it by the title because you really
okay.
You're looking at the solicit and you're like, what the fuck is this even?
It's true. It's true. I didn't think it was going to be lame, but I wasn't interested in it because my experience before with wrestling comics is that they're not good. They're just not good because whoever writes them is not a wrestling fan. And this is the type of thing that this book proves it, that you have to be a fan in order to write a good wrestling book.
Here's the he was very particular about the type of wrestling he wanted to represent.
Yes.
And this is the type of wrestling you can write about because all the luchas are mystery.
And yeah, Lucha Libre has a bunch of mysterious characters, and they have powers and stuff like that.
Well, no, but they all wear the masks, so you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but some of these characters, are like mysterious in a way that
yeah.
Well, I don't know how often how they do those gimmicks now, but I remember back in the day when I was younger, making you believe that a wrestler has superpowers was part of it. I grew up with lucha libre. Puerto Rico had one of the 3 best wrestling schools in the world. It was Japan, the United States, or Puerto Rico. We had a bunch of wrestlers before they made it big in the WWF at the time. They were nobodies in Puerto Rico. They would come to Puerto Rico to wrestle and learn and earn their spot in other in the big leagues. Now it's a completely different thing, and wrestling in Puerto Rico is not what it used to be 40 years ago, sadly.
And like and then Japan, like the New Japan wrestling is taken super seriously.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
But I
that
remember
is a way of life.
I remember growing up that our wrestling events were huge. But now that
I mean, it's still not as big, but I think it kind of went more to Mexico now.
yeah, most definitely. We still have wrestling events in the island. We still have wrestling in the island, but it's not what it was. Like I said, it's not what it was 40 years ago.
But yeah, there's a rich history. And then, I mean, fuck, you have a wrestler now, Penta, who just walks around saying pendejo on live TV. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's not new.
No, but it's on his entrance. Like, he said some, because Dominic Mysterio is like, I don't know if people know what he's saying when he's walking out.
People know. At this point, people know.
I mean, I feel like the way Penta carries himself, you'd be a fan.
Oh, I like the character. Yes,
He does that weird walk strut.
I like that character. I really like it. Shit. The other day I was cooking. I was watching Raw while I was cooking, and I caught myself screaming. El cero miedo while I was cooking. It's like, what am I doing?
Well, I mean, he's no El Grande Americano.
He's no El Grande Americano, of course, but we have a.
It's funny that storyline's going so long, but I keep laughing at it. It's like Chad Gable will walk by and like, "Hey, amigo." He's like, "What?"
It is a funny storyline. But now you can buy the mask, and the mask says on the ticket, it says Chad Gable's Grande Americano mask. It's like, come on, guys, you could have done better than that.
He was wearing the Chad Gable boots, and then Chad Gable makes a post. He goes, "Oh, a Grande Americano left his boots at the airport, so I had to help him."
Yeah. Obviously, that thing in that mask, that label in the mask, is a misprint. Obviously,
it's got to be. I believe it might be Juan Gable, not Chad.
Juan Gable. All right. What are the colors of this dude? Oh, okay, orange and let me use this here.
So I'm at a solid 4 out of 5 on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Out of 5, yes. 4 out of 5. I would say. Yeah, that's a nice number. I would say 4 out of 5.
It's not perfect, but it's super entertaining, and then there's an emotional aspect, and I will give credit to the storytelling because they danced around for a while, and then they did the Clark Kent shit with the mask's not on, he's small. And when the uncle says that, I was like, oh.
I like that they acknowledge that in the book, that they talk about. So
this is what I wondered, if possibly that was how others were seeing him. That was their perception of him and not the actual reality.
Yeah, it makes sense. That
they saw him as a small, weak thing.
When he was not in his mask, and when you see, it makes sense.
Well, the sad thing is that just hit me during the show, because when I was reading it before the show, I was like, the fuck is he so tiny? And all of a sudden he's this fucking hulking beast with the mask's on. I was like, is he shooting Venom?
Right before each wrestling match, he would shoot Venom.
I mean, he already got God jacked out of his brain.
He's God. They're God.
I
They are
don't, I
God.
don't, I don't know how the fuck I even forgot they fought God.
I don't know how I forgot that either.
I thought when they fought Physo, that was the end of the book. I remember nothing about them fighting God. Maybe there was a reason
No,
for that.
no, I don't remember them fighting God. I don't remember them losing to Faiso either. It's wild for real.
Because I read it when it first came out issue by issue, and I never bought the trade.
Mm.
And then I bought it on Amazon for before the show.
Ah, got it. Yeah, I
And
got this book. I think I don't know when was it that I got it, but it was a while ago, and I didn't wait. Like usually, I just put whatever I get that week, and I just put it in the pile, and I read it later. But this one, I didn't want to wait to read it. I read it almost immediately as I got it because I heard so many good things about it. I said I have to check this book out, and I was not disappointed. It was such a good book.
I saw the thing from Amazon. I got if you wanted to pre-purchase tickets from Fandango to see an advanced screening of Superman.
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw the trailer today.
But the closest to us was the West Melbourne Theater.
Yeah.
And I was like,
The AMC one.
Yep. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it's worth waiting. I don't think it's, a big deal waiting another week to go see it.
But why wait another week?
No, because that advanced showing is a week before. It's one night.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, it's one night, one screening.
Oh, shoot.
A week ahead, and then it comes out the week after. And I was like, you know what? I'm good with just waiting till opening night.
Yeah.
Because then I can choose. But I'm excited to see it. And
yes, and today's trailer got me even more excited when you see him doing the laser thing, the laser eyes thing.
Well, also there's a Guy Gardner part, and he uses the ring to create the middle finger.
Like that, he calls him Big Blue
Superman.
too.
And then I saw a lot of the engineer from the Authority in the trailer, and that made me happy.
Oh,
because that's the one who is creating all the metal saw blades and stuff in the fortress.
Yeah.
And
I did not know what character was it.
Yeah, and she was actress that was in the Deadly Class TV series playing Maria, and she was fantastic. So I'm excited to see her in this.
I have to check that Deadly Class show.
I'm not sure where it's streaming on. I ended up eventually just buying the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Season 1 because it did one season and that was it. But it was
one season. It's so sad.
It's pretty perfect.
Yeah.
Like surprisingly, like on point to the almost too much.
Almost too perfect.
Yes, because the actors they picked were like almost dead on.
That's why it got canceled. It was too good.
Or then there's like, was it Netflix? All right, we optioned it. We started filming almost the whole season. Yeah, we're not going to show it. Like the entire
that happened?
Yeah, the first season of Grendel was filmed, and then they were like, "Nah, we're not going to do it."
What?
Yep.
So frustrating.
They've canceled a lot of good shows after one season, and then they're going to have to finish. They're going to finish Sandman this season because Neil Gaiman's been canceled.
It happens,
which is crazy. They went as far as to canceling reprints of his book because there was a foil facsimile cover of the first appearance of Death that was supposed to come out, and they
cut it off.
Yep, I had pre-ordered it, and the place I pre-ordered from was like, "Hey, by the way, yeah, it's canceled. It's not coming late."
It's disappointing, you know.
Yeah,
disappointing.
I have read a book I really liked lately.
What
It's a
have
book
you
called
read that you like?
Exquisite Corpses by James Tynion.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking great. I haven't read a first issue that like felt almost perfect in a long time.
That's good to hear. I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't read anything. I haven't read anything new in a long time, honestly.
Well, the first Absolute Wonder Woman trade's coming out. I think you'll love that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of my favorite Absolute books.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
Absolute,
do with the absolute books. I'm just gonna wait for trades.
yeah, Absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman all come out next month in trades. Superman's been interesting, but you love Jason Aaron, so I know you'll probably check it out.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Absolute Batman just introduced Absolute Bane.
I saw
Today.
that people are going crazy about that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
impressed.
So everything's just drawn too big. Like they gave him a little pinhead. He's got this giant body with this. Even Batman has this.
Yeah, I know
ginormous
that.
body.
Is that like a reason for his body to be that big, or is just that just it's just a stylistic choice?
Stylistic choice.
Okay, I see.
And like Wonder Woman gets stolen from at Paradise Island, we'll just call it, and they have her put in hell and raised by Cersei.
Mm-hmm.
So she grew up in hell with everything, and she's a sorceress. And she has the reanimated corpse of Pegasus to ride around on. And like her powers are kind of dark.
That's wild.
She has this giant Final Fantasy size sword that she carries. Like I love it. It's my favorite out of pretty much all of them. Although Absolute Green Lantern that just came out, the run issue 3 has been fucking fantastic.
I definitely have to catch up. I haven't read anything new in a very long time.
I read a lot of stuff, but it takes a lot for me to get like excited about something.
Yeah.
Lately.
I think I don't know what to think lately. Honestly, my head is all
I
over the
completely
place sometimes.
stopped reading X-Men.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
The reboot it's not appealing to me.
No.
Like I like Gail Simone, and it's just after the whole Krakoa thing, like I don't know. Maybe I needed a break, but I tried reading the first couple of issues of every one of the relaunches. I'm like, not for me.
I've been enjoying it. What I read so far, I enjoyed.
Like I want to love it. Just
cooler than I thought.
Even the Magic Limited series that's out now, like I read it, I'm like, not for me. I'll buy cool covers though.
That makes sense. I would do the same. I'd say that I would call this sketch done. Look at that. Took me an hour and a half. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, at the beginning I was like, I don't know how it's gonna work.
No, I made sure that everything was charged, that everything was ready, because lately everything is starting to act up, and I make sure that everything was working. Make sure that everything was working so that I could stay for the whole thing. Yeah, but I spent all day working on it, making sure that everything was updated and working fine, and do everything that needed to be done.
So, like, this is some of the stuff I actually physically purchased. So that's Absolute Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, that's a cool cover. Is that by what's his name?
Hayden Sherman,
No,
and
it's not. It's not who I thought it was.
the cover is
Yeah.
by Stephanie Hans from Die, and then that's the regular cover.
I like
by
the other
Hayden
one more.
Sherman. Oh yeah, Zatanna.
That one's cool.
It's, Ben Oliver.
That's a pretty cool cover.
This cover
That's
for
cute.
Superman,
That's cute. She looks like a teenager.
and then that's the Exquisite Corpses.
Oh, I saw that cover.
And I bought way too many covers of it.
Yeah, I have like 2 blank covers of it. I think
That was an exclusive.
it's cute. Like that.
And or Zatanna.
That one's really cool too. That's really pretty.
Bit of a fetish.
I'm starting to think that you like Satana.
So pretty much anything Zatanna or Donna Troy, I will almost always buy.
Yeah.
Also cool covers of Magic.
Oh man, you know what? I think I'm gonna change the book that I was my pick for next month. Then, if you like Satana,
No, we already have next month picked.
Well, yes, I did had already something picked up for. Let me stop this screen so that you can see my face.
Oh no, because we picked for July because of Superman.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's the 4 seasons, right?
Yes, Superman for All
Okay,
Seasons
cool.
will be our July
Cool.
pick, and if the timing works out, we might end up talking about the new Superman movie too, depending when we do the
Hopefully.
episode. Nice.
That's why I have it 2 times. I forgot to take it with me to the convention, and I had to buy another one to get it signed. I'm so mad because the one that I don't have signed is the hardcover.
It's been a while since I've read it, so it'll be nice to read it.
Oh
again.
yeah, I haven't read it in a few years either, so I'm looking forward to read that one.
Yeah. So sometime middle of July, I've got my inventory at work around that time, so I just have to see what my schedule is. In the next 2 weeks, I will be interviewing artist Caitlin Yarsky.
Yeah.
She's the not writer. She was the artist on the book Bliss with Sean Lewis. She did one of the miniseries of Black Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a book come out from Dark Horse this past year called Living Hell, and she'll be on talking about it. And the trade comes out next month.
Oh, nice.
So looking forward to talking to her. So I got that going on. Date's not set yet, but it's going to be sometime between a Wednesday and Friday because those are her free days.
Sweet. Send me the link so I can watch it.
Yeah. Weirdly, just before Jen passed away, she got to meet her and said it was like the greatest thing ever. And so I had messaged this person. I was like, hey, just want to thank you for giving my sick friend a great day. And then we became friendly.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Superman for All Seasons,
Yes.
the Superman movie, which I'm really each trailer, but I'm also a little bit weary of watching trailers because I don't want them to give away anymore. Because I feel like we're seeing too much now.
Nah, I don't care now. I don't care.
The
trailers are hyping me up. So
I feel like the second was enough.
Yeah,
it gave me just enough, but then like this Ultraman character, which I have a bad feeling.
What do you think? Who you think it is?
So, do you remember that Scott Snyder run he did with Jim Lee?
Yeah,
there was that character, not Odysseus, but it was something like there was that superpowered character, and I was like,
yeah, no, but I don't think it's gonna be that. That's too obscure.
If it's
too
Bizarro,
modern.
if it's Bizarro, I'm not gonna be happy. But the person has laser eyes.
Is it the same character that's shooting the laser eyes back?
I think so.
You think so? that doesn't necessarily mean he's the same guy. But again,
I don't.
let's
I don't
wait.
know.
Let's wait. I'm excited. And every trailer, I just get more pumped, more excited about it, more hyped.
I feel about this movie the way I did about Guardians of the Galaxy. I can't believe I'm fucking going to see a movie that Guy Gardner is in. The same way I felt I can't believe I'm going to see a movie that Rocket Raccoon is in. Can't believe I'm going to see Hawkwoman.
And it worked.
Like, Mr. Terrific has been in the TV show, so it's not as big of a deal, but like Hawkwoman. I'm going to see the engineer from The Authority, which is even fucking crazier to me. So I was a huge fan of that book.
Yeah, I've never read The Authority. I have,
and it was my favorite character, the engineer.
Oh, sweet.
So this is like a whole other thing. I'm just like, and then there's the Fantastic Four movie, which the more I watch, the more I'm like, I don't know.
Really, another one that I want to see. I watched the Thunderbolts and the end credit scenes. Like, oh yes.
See, I know they're backtracking now, saying, "Well, I'm not saying that's the Fantastic Four," and I'm like,
"What? The ship at the end of the Thunderbolts?"
Yeah,
they're saying that it's not.
Kevin Feige's like, well, it might not be the Fantastic Four in there.
All right, come on.
Otherwise,
it didn't have a 4 in it.
Yeah, otherwise it spoils the fact of we know their fucking universe is going to blow up.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the only way that you can have them join the MCU. It's the only way that you can have them join the MCU. They were in a parallel universe. He discovers a way to, oh shit, and then jumps there right before Galactus destroys his planet, and then he's gonna come to this universe, and that's what's gonna happen.
There'll be a little bit of Captain America to it because their world's basically the 60s.
Okay, well, I hope so.
Well, no, that's how it feels like if they get into Avengers Doomsday, where they're gonna be like,
oh yeah.
what's up with all these video screens everywhere? This doesn't look like the Baxter Building.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, especially after watching the Thunderbolts. I was like, yeah, this is nice. This felt nice. I want to see it.
I watched Thunderbolts and I went back and watched all of the greatest moments between Yelena and Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye series. There's like a whole 10-minute supercut of their interactions.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that actually was probably one of my favorite of the Disney Plus series. And then we're getting Frank Castle back, and
it was really good.
Yeah, and Born Again season 2.
Oh yeah, I just finished that one the other day. That one was really good. I really enjoy it.
So out of everything I've watched lately, Andor was probably the best of those series.
I haven't finished it.
That's right in a Rogue One, which was my favorite of the newer Star Wars movies. Like literally, like right into the beginning.
Yeah, I haven't finished. I'm on like episode 4 or 5, and I stopped because I was going for the weekend for the Metallica concert in Tampa, and I haven't been here. I just got here on Monday, and I had to go to work. And yesterday, all I did was rest because
I did 2 overnights last week.
Yeah, no likey.
So,
all right, guys.
It's.
I have to. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I have to start wrapping up because I am hungry and I need to cook.
Oh, who the hell eats these days?
I do. Apparently, I get sick if I don't.
We'll see you next month for Superman for all seasons. And try not to cry during it.
All right, try my best not to cry.
Yeah. All right, everybody. See you later, and thank you. And Gambit will probably post that picture on Instagram.
Yes,
later.
I haven't posted anything in a few days, but I'm gonna. All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.